Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Wednesday, May 2nd, 2012. There's a lot to cover, so let's get right into the charts here. We'll start off with the S&P 500 E-mini futures. They are trading lower by 6.5 points, basically down to that 1394 level at the moment. So it's a good drop on futures. Futures have been down all morning by about 3.5 to 4 points, but about 15 minutes ago, the ADP job report was released. The number came in at 119,000 and futures started to fall a little bit lower. So once again, markets are under pressure. When the markets are lower, it usually means one thing. It means that the US dollar index is trading higher. This morning, the dollar is catching a sharp bid higher, trading up by 42 cents at the moment to 79.36 per contract. Dollar up, market down. It's just that simple. Now, a lot of you may be saying, Nick, the dollar was up yesterday and the market was up. That will happen from time to time if volume is very, very light. And also, when the European markets are closed and the Asian markets are closed, it's almost like the cat's away, the mice will play, and the markets caught a bid yesterday. But that's really the only reason. If the dollar is strong, the market will be lower for the most part. On a rare occasion, when there's light volume involved or holidays involved, or the bond market is closed, sometimes like that on those occasions, the market and the dollar can trade higher. You see this a lot during the Christmas holidays. However, that is not the case this morning as the European markets are open and they're in some trouble this morning. Spanish and Italian stock markets are sharply lower this morning. So that's something you want to take note of. If you also look at the European markets right now, you do have the German DAX trading lower by 0.6%. That was higher earlier. And you have the CAC 40 basically flat. And the FTSE 100, which is England, they can print their own money, is down by about 0.9%. So Europe has rolled over sharply after that US GDP ADP report, which came in at 119,000 payroll, US private sector payrolls added for the month of April. But you do have Italy down about 2.5%, and you have Spain, the Spanish market, the IBEX 35, down over 3% at the moment. So these are ugly, ugly declines in Europe, and traders should be well aware of what is taking place there. But watch the dollar. The dollar will tell you everything you need to know. Dollar up, market down. Pretty much that simple and that cut and dry. Let's take a look at oil and gold real quick. Oil is down 36 cents to 105.80. Gold is down 5 points to 16.57. Not a bad move for either. They're both hanging in there pretty well today. Oil and gold are both hanging in there pretty well, considering that the markets are deflating a little bit. I'm not going to get into the USO or the GLD chart today because I think it's kind of pointless. They're basically flat. But let's get into some stocks here that are trading in the marketplace. I'm going to start off with Wynn Resorts. Take a look at Wynn Resorts. Wynn has caught a nice bid this morning. It was much higher around the 142 level, now trading around 138.20. The stock will have decent resistance around 143 if it does get there. So watch for a little bit of short-term resistance if it gets there. The gap is neutral. It's not a strong gap. It's not a weak gap. It could go either way today. But there should be some resistance on Wynn around the 142.50 to 143 level. But right now the stock's trading at 138.20, well off the morning highs. It is important to note that last night the Asian markets resumed trading, and the Shanghai index was up 1.76%. So up sharply last night in the Shanghai, and Wynn often will resemble the action in the Shanghai index. Now, Chinese ADRs will probably do well today. However, if the U.S. markets are weak, watch for some weakness in the Chinese ADRs. Now, China is operating just like the Federal Reserve or the U.S. markets here. Poor economic data last night out of China, but they're thinking that the Chinese central bank is going to do a monetary easing, cut rates, and that is going to lift the market. So that's why China was up last night. But in any case, we'll see how this market plays out a little bit later. Let's take a look at Open Table. This stock is hammered this morning. Open Table closed at 43.68, trading at 36.70. This is a pretty strong gap down. It looks like the stock will have some support at 34.30, and then it will have more support around 31.70. Be careful, though. This is a strong gap down. Those levels may not hold all that long. One of the European banks that I'm watching this morning is Deutsche Bank, down sharply. The stock yesterday closed at 44.18. This morning it is trading at 42.35. The decent fall there. Stock will have some support around the 42.25 and even the 41.75 level. If that level breaks, traders can watch for support at $40 and watch for more support basically around the 37.45 level. So watch for those two levels there on Deutsche Bank. If it really fell hard, it could go all the way down to 32.38. But this is not a pretty pattern on the Deutsche Bank chart, and that stock could trade lower. Let's take a look at this stock I saw this morning. Ticker symbol is SMSC. This stock, Standard Microsystems Corp, was bought out by Microchip, MCHP, and there's nothing to do here. If you own it, congratulations, take the money off the table. If you don't own it, don't short it, don't buy it, don't do anything. The stock is done, it's a takeover, and that's all you want to watch for. Let's take a look at Comcast, ticker symbol CMCSA. Comcast, the leading cable provider. Stock is getting hit pretty hard this morning, trading down to around 39.45. Traders should watch for some short-term support around 28.80, 28.38, and then you really want to look at the $27, 27.05 area. If it goes lower than that, it'll be 25.90, and then ultimately the 24.80 level. So that's what you're going to watch for on Comcast. But this is a pretty strong gap down, so those levels should be pretty accurate today for the most part. But it looks like a pretty strong gap down. Therefore, those bounces or those support areas may not hold all that long. But we'll have to see how this thing trades once it opens. But it looks like a strong gap down, so you want to watch those levels. Let's take a look at Devon Energy this morning. Devon Energy was trading higher this morning, now selling off pretty sharply, trading below the $68 level. It's a decent little decline. It looks like a strong gap down for Devon. I would not touch this thing till it got to around the $64 area, around 64. Traders can look for a little intraday bounce. If that pierces, you'll even have a little bit more support around 63.55. The next support level would be all the way down to $60.54. And then you'd have to really look down at the 57 level. This looks like a strong gap down for Devon Energy, so be a little bit careful there. These bounces may not last all that long. Let's take a look at CVS this morning. The drugstore chain is getting a little bit of a bid higher, trading around $45.74. It may have upside to around 46. I just don't see it really getting much past the 46 level at the moment. But the gap is kind of neutral. It's not strong. It's not weak. The stock may have a little bit of upside into the 46 level, but right around there it should struggle a little bit. I'm not sure if it could get through that level, but either way, it's not one to fade or to buy. I would kind of just leave that one alone. Let's take a look at Genworth Financial, ticker symbol GNW. This stock was trading up to 650 level. Again, I still think there's a ton of resistance on this stock around $6.60. I don't really see it getting up there. If it does take out the most recent pivot low on the daily chart, which is $5.70, I believe. Yeah, $5.70. This thing could go all the way to $5. So be very, very careful there. We'll have a little bit of short-term support around $5.38, but really $5 or even a pierce of $5 is the next, decent support level. So I just don't see a lot of strength on this Genworth Financial at the moment, and the stock is, in a downtrend, trading below all the moving averages. There really isn't much there. So with that said, everyone, I'm going to leave it there today. Once again, markets are trading a little bit lower. You want to be careful here. We're down about 6 points. It's nothing terrible, but again, watch that dollar. Dollar trades higher, market will go lower. If the dollar fades, the market should catch a bid and inflate up a little bit. That's generally what we see from day to day. I'm going to leave it there. Have a great trading day, everyone. We'll see you back on the charts tomorrow morning. Take care now.